to play?
The big feature of the game is obviously the crate, and it works simply by, it is a metal plate which then stops the ball from going in. When it triggers, that pin sucks down and then the ball can pass in. So it's made up of a solenoid, a couple of brackets, this front plate, which is the pin which stops it going forward, and a board, and obviously the back plate. And then there's the top bracket that just goes over it like this. Sorry. Sits something like that on the game. And I've got, so this is a brand new unit because the other one was really manky, and a set of new decals which go on top. So we're going to start off by just dismantling this and then cleaning it up. So I'll replace the solenoid, not because it's damaged, just because I'm going, you know, it's 20 bucks or whatever it is. And if you're going as far as to replace the playfield, really you want it to look nice. So no washer there, which is an issue. It's fairly fine. So I'll reuse the coil stop, reuse the coil sleeve. Just going to replace this, which means desoldering the wires. So this bracket is a bit damaged, and you know, it is touch or go whether I buy a whole new crate one, but it's quite an expensive unit and it is functioning pretty well. So I'm going to try to see if I can get away with it. If my OCD means that I eventually have to replace the whole thing, then well, it's not that hard to do. So let's get this bracket off and the pin off. Now we'll get the board out. I'm a little annoyed because of these diodes. There's one that's a different color. So I'm going to see if I can find an original or go and replace all of them. It's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'll go and have a look at that board and just have a look and see what can be done to make that look a bit better. There you go, you can see inside there's just a simple spring on the inside. Okay, so to dismantle this and give it a clean, let's remove the E-ring. That's pretty painful. Get that out. Okay, so I'm going to give this a bit of a clean, combination of the wire brush, a bit of polish and the polisher. I'll give this a bit of a clean. It doesn't have to be that clean because the decal's just going on top of that don't open. And of course giving this a bit of a clean, which is that's out to get this out, and then that just slides down. So it looks like they've just manufactured this. It doesn't look that pretty, but I'll see if I can source one of these new. Otherwise we'll just clean it up and make it look nice. And clean this too. So let's go and do some cleaning. I'm back. Okay, so I've given this a clean up as much as I can. It is not by any means perfect, but it's nice and clean. There's no dirt on it anymore. So we can put this back together. I've already put this little bracket back on. I've also replaced the solenoid, resoldered on the wires. So right, coil tube in the side of the wires, and which is the same side as the coil stop. That goes on that nice little nub there, very much like a flipper. Now we want to also get this in at the same time. So we've got to get this, then the spring in. We'll put the E-spring in afterwards, I believe. That goes in like that. Okay. Now, what was missing on the last one was one of these didn't have a washer, so I'm just going to put 2 new washers on. I've got my 2 screws here, Allen screws. I've got my Loctite, and I've got the washer. So just going to put the washer on, then a little drop of Loctite. Okay, let's zoom in on that. Okay, in it goes. I'm not going to tighten that completely. We'll get the second one in as well. Okay. A little blob of Loctite. In it goes, and on with the Allen key. Okay, now again, before you tighten, you want to push this up as much as you can. Okay. Great. Okay. Now let's get this E-spring in. It's not quite in. There we go. Now that's in. Okay. And that's how. That's nice. Now let's get the rest of the mechanism back in. So the one thing I'm not sure whether I should do now or after, and that is to put the decal on. I think I'm going to put it on afterwards, because when this goes down over the front, that's going to be my alignment. So I'm going to put that on at the end. So let's put that on afterwards. This on, and we'll see if we can get the spring in afterwards. Okay, so that has to go in the front of that, so that when this comes down, that's when it goes in. Okay, let's get the E-spring in place on this side. There we go, that's all. Now we just need to get this little spring in underneath there and across. Okay, so that means that when this comes down, this gate naturally wants to come forward because that spring is stuck underneath there. Now when the pin is up, it's protected. Okay, let's get the board in. It's really a very simple design actually. Board goes like that with the plug going to the back. Back, that's the front, and then this is going to go up over the top. That literally sits over it like that. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for little LEDs. So I'm going to get this back in the machine onto the playfield before I put the stickers on again, just to make sure the alignment works. And I'm also going to go and try and see if I can get these replacement LEDs. Look, it's not perfect. I prefer to have bought a new one, but at this stage this is enough to do. Okay, so in it goes onto the playfield now. So first it just simply slides in with this bit obviously facing down. These two are threaded into T-nuts, and so those ones have got slightly different screws, and these are just regular wood screws, whereas these are so that just goes in, really simple. Okay, and then when I took this one out, one of the screws that was used to secure it was a crappy wood screw, so that's going in the bin, and I'll replace it with a new one. So, but before you do that, make sure you get the right height. You don't want to get the wrong screwed, go through your playfield. Be paranoid, it's worthwhile. Okay. In goes the new. Okay, crates in. Whew, getting close now. So part of the restore is to replace this old cobbled together crate, which has been repaired a couple of times, with a brand new one, and to put the new decals on. And when I put this in, I forgot to put the front decal on. So I'm just going to remove the front plate rather than having to remove the entire thing. So to do that, there's a E-ring here. Okay, E-ring comes off. This all slides through. Be careful not to lose the spring which sits on the rod, and then that comes up. And now what I'm going to do is to go and just apply this on the front and this on the front of the actual crate and this on the top. So that's the three. Okay, so I'm going to start with this. Get my isopropyl alcohol, clean rag, and just give it a good wipe. Make sure I get any grease or anything off it. And let that go and evaporate a bit, and then the same here. I'll do the top. Okay, so that'll evaporates pretty quickly, and these are quite thick decals. You can see. I can't remember where I got these from. It might have been Mr. Pinball. They've got the, I hope, real, genuine product sticker on that, and given that this is going to, let's see which way this aligns, because the top is covered by the top of that, so I presume you align it on the bottom. Okay, now we do this. It's pretty simple, really. And then the top has got a couple of little cutouts. Now, I don't know if we take those out now. Let me go. So I'm going to actually just stick these on, and then I might cut them out afterwards. Poke them through from the other side. But I suppose I want to get the alignment, so literally just poke these through. These have been laser cut, presumably. Little, the just tiniest little. Because these holes are actually slightly bigger than the decal holes. So it looks like it's lined up nicely. There we go. So that's that done. And it's slightly larger, so hopefully that doesn't cause a problem. But that's it. I'll get this in now, and that's going to look really nice, with much better than the stainless steel that was there before. Okay, so we've applied the decal. First thing to do is to put this back in. And it should be noted it's got to go behind that the cover plates here. If you put it in the front, obviously it can't swing inwards. This simply slides now down between the spike and the bracket. It needs to be behind the bracket on both sides. You need to get your spring halfway through and get that in, and then this. And then you line up the front plate hole on the side with, and just extend that. There we go, and then the E-spring goes on top of there. Back on the end. Okay, and then the spring, which now will move across and go underneath this little bracket in the middle. So now when if I pull the pin down, it comes up behind. Okay, this will go on top. And look like that. So that looks a hell of a lot better. Now I haven't got the board on, so I'm not going to screw that in now. So now that we've got the crate in, the last mech is the pop-up here on this coffin. So that's what I'll do next, and then we can start thinking about switches and lamps and what we do with the loom and how we wash it and clean it. Thanks very much for watching. Stay in touch, subscribe, hit the alert button, and feel free to share it on Aussie Arcade or on Pinside. Until next time.